Testing, testing, testing. See what happens when you running a one-man show? You might forget to plug in something. That was the microphone. You might forget to plug in something. So let me just recap what I just said. Listen, this is the Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank y'all for always supporting me. And the first question I want to ask is, how is everybody's Sunday? Now, my Sunday is doing swell. I know that it's late. I usually don't go this late. Um, but at least I'm here. You know, I did a couple of interviews the last few Sundays, and so I have not been able to do it like I always do it like this tonight. I got a nice lineup. I'm gonna go into some current events. I'm going to go into uh, I got some information that I think a lot of people would benefit from. Maybe you already know it, maybe you don't know it, but I think a lot of people will enjoy something, and you definitely will learn something tonight. All right. But thank you for that. Thank you for that, Barathanawa, Sister Barathanawa. I was just going to town. I was just going to town, didn't even realize that the mic was not even plugged up. But that's how it be, though. That's how it be. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if I had an engineer, you know, I wouldn't have to worry about those things. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna talk about. I'm making sure this is plugged up, the camera plugged up, and that's how it be. You know what I mean? But it's all good. We up in here, right? I'm sorry that it's late. I know on the East Coast it's about to be 9 o'clock. I know Midwest is about to be 8 p.m. So this is late for a lot of brothers and sisters. You're about to go to you getting ready, getting your mind ready, getting your body, getting your rest ready, getting your body ready, getting your rest to, prepare for tomorrow, Monday, and go back into that slavery. Go and clock in and, handle your business and do what you got to do. But yeah, so the first thing I want to start off with, right? Let's see what I want to talk about, because I got a lot of things I want to talk about, and I might not get to them all because I ain't trying to hold everybody. Uh, let's see what we want to talk about. Oh, we talk about Halloween. Halloween, right? Halloween is right around the corner. Right around the corner. Halloween. Like all holidays, y'all know the stance. The stance is basically we as a collective, as a group of people, as Black people, we have forcibly had to assimilate to follow the customs, the traditions of another group of people. That's 100% facts, 144% factual. We actually had no choice. And y'all will see when I go into Thanksgiving, when I go into Christmas, and I'm gonna go in hard to where a lot of y'all gonna be in y'all feelings. But the truth is the truth. And once again, going back to uh, Halloween, which is right around the corner, this is one of those holidays that is not part of us as far as who we are as a people. We need to really question, why do we do some of the things we do? We don't even question why we do some of the things we do. We don't question some of the things that we have learned. And, it's almost like we don't even care about our ancestors before we came over here, before Manifest Destiny. So I know that a lot of people say Black people was already here. True. So that's why I didn't say the transatlantic slave trade, but we don't even think about what were our people doing. Is Christmas something that our people was actually doing? Is the things that we celebrate here in America, or did our people actually do that? Would they even care about that stuff? Or did they have a whole nother set of holy days, holidays that they followed and that they kept? We don't know. But what we do know is that Halloween historically comes from the ancient Celtics. It comes from the Druids. It's a amalgamation of a lot of things. Halloween was called Samhain or Sain in ancient times, where they did all kind of pagan festivals. Eventually, down the line, it got mixed in with Christianity. So if you're a Black person and you don't subscribe to Christianity, or you don't subscribe to the Bible, but you celebrate Halloween, you're a little confused. You might be a little confused. You contradicting yourself. That's another thing I'm gonna go into. A lot of y'all be talking about the Bible this, the Bible that, but you're contradicting yourself when you celebrate these holidays and birthdays. You really contradict. You really crossing yourself up, because a lot of these things go back into Christianity. I'm not specifically the Bible, but the religion of Christianity. And hey, you're doing it. But you always say, oh, white man wrote that book. I don't believe in that. I'm spiritual. But you're not spiritual enough to not follow your oppressor's way of life. Not that spiritual, right? But Think about this. Like, you have, okay, so I explained the history in brief. And if you want to know the more history, I will be going in on this on Hollywood Israelites this Wednesday, and I will post a video on Thawahgabar. I have another channel, Thawahgabar, where I just post biblical breakdowns, real concise and straight to the point. Now, with this for the audience. Oh, yes, thank you, Black Dazzle. Thank you. Thank you, Black Dazzle. Harvest Festival. This is another thing, because you see a lot of brothers and sisters like they want to go to a Harvest Festival. Somebody just put a flyer on my door the other day for a Harvest Festival. They have a lot of them, different times of this month where it's just supposed to be all fun and stuff. But this goes back to ancient times when they were practicing pagan practices. And we're talking about crazy stuff that they was doing. But here's the thing: we wouldn't be doing it if we weren't enslaved in America, and if we were not the people that had to forcibly follow what the slave master said to do. Forcibly, you had no choice. You didn't get the chance to choose. Now, I don't want to celebrate the 4th of July. Well, you either going to listen to the crackle and pop of these fireworks, or you're going to hear the crackle and pop of a whip on your back. We didn't have no choice, y'all. That's the point I'm making. And we still don't have no choice right now. Well, we do have a choice now. We do have a choice, but we're so programmed, we're so locked in that we don't see no other way. And let's be real. We grew up with them saying, like, you got to watch it. You go trick or treating, watch out for the candy. People put syringes, they put razor blades in the candy. You know what I mean? Everybody that's in here, make sure y'all like this video and share this video. You have people that would say that. Nowadays, kids are coming up missing. Kids are coming up missing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening nowadays. Nowadays, just bump Halloween. Forget about Halloween. Look at the sheer amount of Black women and Black girls that are missing, y'all. As I'm sharing these things on my feed, and I start to think, and I don't know, maybe I got a little emotional, but I started thinking, like, you know what? I don't see nobody else sharing this. I know they see my post. All these Black people, all these Black on Black, pro-Black people that I got on my friend list, and nobody is re-sharing this. This is important. But everybody's sharing Little Dirk though, huh? Mm-hmm. But Halloween, you send your children to a stranger's house. You send your children trick-or-treating to a stranger's house. You don't know if that stranger is a molester, a pedophile. You don't know who is answering the door, who is scoping out your child in this day and age. It would not be smart to do that. Better yet, it would be smart to take a stand in your home and be like, listen, I know I grew up doing this stuff, but listen, like, this ain't even got nothing to do with my people. That's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm going to find out the history, and I don't celebrate anything no more. You know what is a extra benefit to that? What you start to realize is, damn, I save a lot of money not celebrating these holidays. It wasn't the catalyst to get me there, but it was a byproduct that came with it. Like, I'm not doing nothing. What you doing on this? Hey, what you doing for Thanksgiving, bro? What you doing for? I don't celebrate. I celebrate whole other days. I celebrate biblical high holy days. But the point that I'm making is that you're sending your children to these homes, and you're sending your children out, and no, you're not thinking about what could happen. That's just something to think about, y'all. Another part to that is that our people, and I'm just talking about Black people, we like to have fun, and we choose fun and pleasure over doing the right thing. over being smart and being circumspect in situations. So we choose pleasure over being a righteous people. We just want to have fun, party, get high, do drugs, party, have sex, do all of those things. That's all our people really want to do. I'm being 100%, that 144%. I gotta get used to that. I'm being 144% truthful and real when I say this. That's what we like to do. And all it is just another occasion, like all of these holidays for our people, is to get high, get drunk, get party, be vain, argue with family, and that's it. That's it. We love to be entertained. In fact, we are the entertainment a lot of times. We are the entertainment, you know? Now, am I saying is something wrong with um doing like having a good time, partying? No, I'm not saying that, but I'm like under the context of us doing it during the time when we feel obligated many times because of our children, because of our family, we feel obligated to partake in these holidays of America when we don't have to, where we can reprogram, we can do something else, can make up your own holiday. You can make up your own thing that you want to do. You can make up your own costume from scratch contest. You can you know what I'm saying? Like the point is that we're running and trying to assimilate and stick in a marathon of America when we don't have to do that. We could relax. We could say, you know what, this ain't never been us. My ancestors did it because they felt obligated and forced to do it, but I don't have to do it. But yeah, that's what I got on that. You want more of that? Like I said, Hollywood Israelites this Wednesday, the Thawahgabar channel. I definitely will post something, and it will be a historical and biblical point of view. Just letting you know, but it will be the truth. Okay. Now, I mean, everybody know about this. Little Dirk was arrested by the FBI. I believe he was in Florida. He was trying to leave the country, and one of his friends had been an informant wearing a wire. So he was found. So it came out that possibly, allegedly, he was involved in a murder for hire plot. And one of his good friends wore a wire for years, right up under him, hearing all the conversations. And so to the black community, I just want to say, you got what you wanted, right? To the younger generation, you got what you wanted. Because from people that don't know, his protege, what's their brother's name? Well, his protege, how I don't know his name. His name was everywhere. Anyway, his protege, somebody put in the chat, his protege was he was unalive like a few years ago. And the internet was saying, Little Dirk, what you gonna do? Is you gonna get some get back? Because they from Chirac. They're from Chirac. They from, this is the drill music scene. And so that's what people wanted. People wanted get back on another rapper, Rondo. I remember his name, but Lil Von, right? Little Von. That's his name. Yeah. Anyway, Lil Von was his protege. Got into an altercation with another rapper named Rondo, and one of Rondo's affiliates opened fire, hitting Lil Von. And at the same time, there were officers out there, and the officer shot rounds and hit Quando Rondo's affiliate. I believe his name was like Tim or something like that. Anyway, the streets wanted get back. The people on the internet said that Little Dirk, when is he going to slide on Rondo? Well, allegedly there was a shooting where Rondo's cousin was unalived, and they said that Little Dirk made that hit. Allegedly, all of this is alleged. It's not. I'm not saying it's facts, but this is This is what's all in the news waves, all in the airwaves, all on the internet. But here's the thing, man, and hear me good. Our music is about mourning. Our music is about, unfortunate situations of hurting people, of cruelty. That is our music. That is what we produce. And somewhere down the line, we have been tricked to think that this is how we should make it by by living out, not just saying these lyrics, but living out these lyrics in real life in 3D in your face. And it's like I said this before, this was a while ago. I said, like, once you're in that level, once you're on that level, you made it. You have made it. You have done what everybody wants to do in different type of ways. Everybody wants to be successful. I can guarantee you, all Black people, I ain't gonna say most, all Black people would want to just have a life where they don't have to worry about bills, where they could watch their children grow and they can be content. That's it. And you get to a level where you have money and you've made it, but you're programmed to still move and live how you was living before you got the big rap contract, which is foolish. But you see this even with brothers in sports. Brothers get those contracts in the NFL, in the NBA, and it doesn't. You're a person that's in the hood that just got millions of dollars. The money is not going to change the behavior. We have to change our behavior in the Black household in order for that to happen. The money will never change. That's why I say when y'all look at celebrities, right? We look at the celebrity and you see them on TV, they have a fabulous life, they're going places, they wearing the nice clothes, the jewels and all of that, but their life is in shambles. Their relationships are in shambles. It's trash. And this goes back to Black culture because Black culture stands on dysfunction. Black culture is trash because it stands on dysfunction. It makes dysfunctional relationships, hurting people, being a tough guy, it makes that popular. It makes the things that hurt us the most popular. And that's why I say Black culture is trash. And this is a prime example with Little Dirk. You can't even grow once you have the opportunity to leave your where you grew up at and take care of your family. You have to run back to the streets. You have to stay in that mindset, which is immature, and it just shows a lack of growth, not in the person, but in the Black community, because the people on the internet, they wanted this, and now they crying, talking about free Little Dirk. We need to understand our stance and the things that we propagate in our community and we stand by and we champion. We need to relook at those things and realize those things are destructive towards us. And this is a prime example. All right. Now, I got a video that I want to go over. I'm gonna play a video. Let me move these. Let me remove this studio. Remove King Von. Lil Durk. King Von. King Von. Renee. It sounded different when you said Little Von, but listen, we don't know. But let me blow this up. Yeah, we don't know, but it sounded different. But King Von, Little Durk's protege, right? Came up under him. He put him on. I'm getting ready to play this video, y'all. Let me just remove these things from the studio. All right, here we go.
Unless I read wrong, you have the Make America Great Again.
Yeah, I do.
I want you to tell me exactly the point in history where America was great.
You know,
As
it's
a
funny.
black man.
Point to me a time in history where America wasn't great. Tell me where
The
it
birth
starts.
of America.
No, point in America where
country
America
was
wasn't great.
built on murder and thievery and deception. What do you mean?
Now let me.
With the young, now this is Turning Point USA. This is like a panel. I think this is Officer Tatum. It also has Candace Owens on this panel, and it's a white guy that be with Candace Owens. Maybe y'all know his name. I can't think of his name right now. Charlie, I think it's Charlie something, right? And they go to colleges, and they're conservatives, meaning they're Republicans, and they go to colleges to talk and have these talks with college students to confound them, right? Because these are young people that's growing up and learning new ideas in college. And so I came across this, and I thought it was necessary to talk about it. Now, Officer Tatum, his history is he was a police officer. He's no longer a police officer. I should say black, as y'all can see, black police officer. He has a huge following. There's another group of brothers named the Hodgkins twins. There's two twins, light-skinned, hazel eyes. These brothers are conservatives, and they go in on, issues that pertain to black people, and, play that part, that good old boy part, such as Officer Tatum. They have huge followings, and of course, their main following is white America. I'm sure they have some black followers, but the majority in how their growth, similar to Candace Owens, huge following based on some of the things that they say against the black community, or hold the flame to the black community, should I say, and say the things that the Kens and Karens of America wouldn't never say, but because they have a person like a black person to say it, they will rally behind these type of black folks. So I just wanted to just say that, and then let's get some more.
Explain this to you real quick. This is for everybody to listen to. Everybody always have this perception that we shouldn't acknowledge America as being great. America started at a certain point and grew and came better over time. No country that you know of was 100% perfect at the foundation. No country. No country in the world. No countries in Africa.
So now you see right here, Tatum is making a point, or answering the brother's question, or what the statement that the brother made is that America was created off of bloodshed. And Tatum is saying, well, no country is just perfect. So once again, you see the angle that these people use. They use this angle. They're trying to figure out a way to rationalize everything that we know in our mind is wrong. America was created off the bloodshed, manifest destiny. Yes, America has become a great country, but the foundation, we can't escape that. You can't get around that by saying no country has a clean slate, or a perfect past. Let me keep going.
No countries in Europe, you can name it. Everybody started at a certain point, and it became greater over
didn't
time.
Answer my question.
Ever since you've been alive, America has been the greatest it's ever been.
You think so?
100%, brother. You can name somewhere else that's better than America. And why don't you live there?
I'm not sure.
I know you're not sure, because they don't exist.
So what he said right here, America has been the greatest. I don't agree with that. Now, that's subjective, and that depends on the person. You have white folks that believe America is the worst country. Now, somebody in Europe, somebody in another country probably believes that they live in the greatest country. You get what I'm saying? So you can't just that's his point of view. But we've been gamed up as people in America to believe that America is the greatest place you can be, when there are people all over this planet that have good lives, that have lives where they are content, where they are happy. You can go to some places where the people are poorer. The people are poor and they are happier than the average American. Their relationships are better than the average people in America. So, like I said before, that's just that all depends on a person, whether you feel if America is the greatest place and better than everywhere else, right?
Show me somewhere else this is as diverse as America. Anywhere.
As diverse?
That's as diverse.
What does diversity mean if people are
Opportunities
being
for
discriminated
all
against?
people. Show me another country that give opportunities for all people like America
Do you
does.
think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start on us and no
What's stopping
reparations?
you now? Aren't you at this university?
Yeah.
You're at the university just like all these white people. How's that any different? Can't you?
I want you to go two blocks that way and tell me where they at.
You can read. You can go to class. You can make good grades. I'm hoping that you're making straight A's. How is America stopping you from doing that? And how is it stopping you from being prosperous enough to go down the street and make a difference in your own community?
So now, you heard what he just said. This is the problem with a lot of black people. This is the problem with most white Americans when they look at black people. They look at us through a lens of individuals. And so what they'll say is, what are you talking about? You got Michael Jordan, you got Oprah Winfrey, you got LeBron James. You have successful black people. Look at me. I went to college. I remember a few years ago, if I'm correct, it was Richard Sherman, a football player, that said, like, he low-key was kind of talking down on black people, saying, I came out of Compton and I made it. So what's your excuse? You see what I'm saying? That is how they look at us. They don't look at us in the scope of our whole community, all black people. They see the few individuals that bottlenecked and made it. And what I mean by bottleneck is you take a bottle, let me put it right here. You take a bottle, just to say this was ketchup. Everything can't get through right here, but some does get through very slowly. That's the black community. We have black people that have done very well for themselves, have been in high places of government, have done things that you couldn't even imagine. But that's just a very few in the big scope of things as far as us as a whole group of people. But he's pointing out, what can you do as an individual? Of course, you have all the opportunity that you want as an individual, and you can go to college and you can do these things. But the vast majority of black people, that is not a reality. It's like saying, it's like you see those people that be on talking about generational wealth. We all should be on generational wealth and be millionaires. Everybody can't be a millionaire in a kingdom, in a kingdom. Everybody can't be a king in a kingdom. Everybody can't be a delegate. Everybody, it's just the probability, the math don't even math. You understand? And when we look at the things that have been implemented against black people, not individuals, but against us as a whole, you cannot deny those things. And that's the point that I think the brother is trying to articulate, but he can't articulate. But he's bringing out some good points. And Officer Tatum is shucking and jiving and trying his best to refute those points. I'm going to keep going.
How's America stopping you from doing that?
Why is it my responsibility to make a difference in my community that was sabotaged from the start?
I don't think, let's go back to the foundation.
Do you think the CIA planted drugs in our communities?
They didn't make you sell it.
Do you think they...
No, I agree.
Do you think they burned down
stories of how
black
the CIA,
businesses? Do you know what Black Hollywood is?
Let's go one at a time. I've heard stories that the CIA planted drugs in the inner city communities. Not every black community, but in some.
Now, the brother brought out another point, how they sabotage black communities. I don't understand the concept of people saying, in the 80s, that black people were lazy, that black people just want to be on welfare and they don't want to work hard. I never understood that concept, because our people were the slaves of America and built America. And after that, within what is it, 11 years, had built cities like Weeksville, like built places in the 1920s, built Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood. Like, I don't understand that. But I do remember, and I'm sure y'all do too, that these places that black people built on their own, self-sufficient, with their bootstraps, were burnt down by white Americans. Let me keep going.
They still don't make you go and sell drugs to your brother, do they? Why are you not selling drugs right now? Because it doesn't make sense for you to do that.
That's so evil. That's so evil, because he said, he agreed that, yeah, I heard the stories about the CIA putting the drugs in the community, but it still don't make you go and sell the drugs to your brother. Well, let me just say it like this. If you have a situation where people are deprived of something, let's just say you deprived of food, right? And I come and drop off crates of sugar. And then about 20 years later, you are crying to me, I ain't gonna say crying, you are complaining to me that what I gave you, the only thing I gave you has rotted your teeth out. And I reply and say, well, I didn't make you eat the sugar. I didn't make you sell the sugar. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to just eat the sugar. You know that sugar is bad for you, but it is the only thing that you got to survive. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said it's so evil that he would say, yeah, I seen that they dropped drugs in your community, but they didn't make you sell drugs in your community. Well, when they took away jobs and not give you opportunities, when they made unions to not give you opportunities, when they made a situation where they would help you, but as a man, you can't be in the house. They would help your family. They'll help the woman. They created a situation. They created an environment where some Black people saw a way out. If I put a drug in a community, if it's a community full of people that went through trauma, that went through hardships, that are depressed, that are down, and I put something in that community like alcohol and drugs, the people are eventually going to try this thing. And once they realize that it's a release, they're going to do it more and more. Then you're going to have people that see that and say, I can capitalize off of this. I can sell this and I can make money and I can feed my family. It's a destructive cycle, y'all. But what he's saying is like I said before, it's so evil to say that and side with your oppressor who tried to destroy your people.
You have an opportunity to go to a university, get an education, and make yourself better and make your family better in the next few generations. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. I'm sitting on campus right now, and all these people are listening to me.
You know what's stopping everybody?
Stopping me?
Money.
Well, in America, what's stopping you from making money in America?
What the f is not stopping us from making money?
You
what
go
the
to the same university as all these white people. How you got a different?
Exactly.
You said what? Excuse me?
We're in debt.
That's
our
your fault.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Okay,
we were never given boots to begin with.
Let's start with this. I actually went and graduated from a university. So I'm not a guy that didn't go to college. I had a full scholarship, so I didn't pay for school in my undergrad. Graduate school, I paid for out of my.
Let me skip up a little bit.
Different choices. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that made it out because they made better choices. I could have sold drugs. I didn't. Why? Because I wanted something better out of my life.
What do you say about the disproportionate wealth? Is that okay? Does that not matter?
It's about culture. How much money do you save?
I don't know. I'm in debt, bro.
You in debt. How much do you invest?
I don't know.
How did you get into debt? Who chose to come here?
Me.
Well, that's you laid it out. Now, when you come here, for every college student here, this should be an investment into your future.
Right.
Anybody that know anything about making money knows that you have to invest to get to the next step. You may be in debt. You may be in debt to make an investment to get to the next step. So if you do this properly, this is a debt investment to make more money in the future. If you come here and clown around and take a major that won't put you anywhere, then you just got into debt for no doggone reason. It's a cultural thing. Black people in America don't have wealth like others because they choose not to generate wealth through investments and passing their money down.
You have the
Did you hear that? And that's I wanted to end on that point. He said black people don't have investments. And I forgot, there's another part in here where he tells the brother that he has a victim mentality. I'm gonna get to that. But he said black people, it's a cultural thing why there's a money gap between black people and white people. And it's because black people don't invest. That's the reason why there's this big gap between black people and white people. Has nothing to do with a 500-year head start. Has nothing to do with Jim Crow. Has nothing to do with redlining. Has nothing to do with not giving black people home loans, business loans. Has nothing to do with the recent story that I went over almost probably a year ago with Navy Federal Credit Union that would not give black people and brown people home loans. And so this is crazy and this is insane for him to say something like that. There was a study that came out maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, study that came out that said in order for black people, black families net worth to reach the average black family's net worth to reach that of the average white family's net worth, it would take 228 years. Go and look it up. Go and Google it. That didn't come from, not having strong business practices. That didn't come from, not investing and having a 401k. That came from oppression, racism, and racial bigotry. That's where that come from. It ain't that you think black people don't want to succeed and don't want to, have businesses and grow and have a good life. But I just don't understand black people. Well, I do understand black people like this. But at the same token, I'm sure y'all are looking at people like this are confused. And he said the brother had a victim. He has a victim mindset because he's here at that college and it's other white people there. He's in the same place with white people. And that's another thing I want to get into. You hear this a lot. It used to be that these people, not black people, but they would say that black people were lazy. That used to be a thing about black people are lazy. Now the word is you have a victim mindset. You have a victim mentality. You're playing the victim Olympics. It's so disrespectful for one of them or even our own to say, because we talk about the history and the racial subjugation that happened to our people back then and even now, that we have a victim mindset. Now I want you to think about this for a minute. Think about it like this. You have people, think of it as a person. You have a person that had to go through things, see their family members hurt, unalived, and still be bullied by the same people that did it. And the same people that did it still say things to this person and disrespect them verbally. They're not doing anything. But when this person mentions it, you say, you have a victim mentality. You're here right now. You're going to the same school as everybody else, but you have a victim mentality. Why does it hurt them so bad? And, like the brother said, Stephen from Django, it's almost like, because his views are not his views. His views have been around before he was born. They're conservative Republican views. You get what I'm saying? So his views come from a group of people that don't even look like him. And when you look at this political paradigm, as far as black people, you got two parties. You got Democrat, Republican, and I think 3 independent. Black people ain't never even had a voice in the whole politic arena. Where's the black party? Where is it at? Black people have to assimilate to parties that were pre-existing in power before they even got freed as slaves, and then got the nerve to turn around and down your own people and say your people have a victim mentality. Negro, please, we'll see you in 4 years again, making the same points y'all making, and another 4 years for another candidate making the same points. And I think I said everything I want to say on that. But there's a lot of Black folks that think like Officer Tatum. And you got to understand this. Most Black people that have, they became successful, or like Officer Tatum, they were law enforcement. A lot of them are disconnected, even though I know some, even though they come from the hood. Once you get in that world, you're disconnected. A lot of them lose who they actually were and start looking at things totally different, as in Officer Tatum, that Black people have all the opportunity in the world. That the reason why there's a gap between Black men and black people and Black and white folks is because we don't invest enough. I'm off of it, y'all. I don't want to talk too much, but so yeah. What's your thoughts on it? Yes. And I try to refrain from saying anything about him as far as like, the words that we usually call Black people like that, because I'm sure he's heard it a million times. But it's just crazy that you have Black people that even think like that. If anything, where's the Black party? Why Black people ain't thinking another type of way instead of the ways that you know have always been there and we didn't create? So let me drop this now. Read this. I'll read it second. I'll play this.
Environment can alter our genes and adjust the way they function. Scientists at Columbia, Duke, Emory, Stanford are studying how certain traumatic life experiences can affect us on a genetic level, actually changing our DNA. Now, we know trauma leaves scars. And now there's evidence that our genes are being altered. And not only that, these changes can be passed on. When we repeat an action or a thought, it's imprinted in our brains and our bodies. Even after the experience is over, it's not forgotten. We've learned through Sephardim's stories, their oral tradition, their books, that they suffered from melancholia. We call it depression today. It's well documented that the experiences that they had changed them, abandoning their homes, forced conversions, always living under a threat of death. These experiences changed them so profoundly that they imprinted in their genes.
Now, did you hear that? Now, the people that they are talking about are the so-called Jewish people, where they've done studies on these people that were descendants of the Holocaust, and found that these traumatic experiences have changed their DNA. Now, I'm going to read a little bit from an article. Let me pull this up. Now, this is from The Guardian. Okay. This is from The Guardian. It says that study of Holocaust survivors finds trauma passed on to children's genes. And I'm going to go on it and read. It says, genetic changes stemming from the trauma suffered by Holocaust survivors are capable of being passed on to their children. The clearest sign yet that one person's life experience can affect subsequent generations. The conclusion from a research team at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital, led by Rachel Yehuda, stems from the genetic study of 32 Jewish men and women who had either been interned in a Nazi concentration camp, witnessed or experienced torture, or had to hide during the Second World War. They also analyzed genes of their children who are known to have increased likelihood of stress disorders, and compared the results with Jewish families who were living outside of Europe during the war. The genes changed in the children could only be attributed to the Holocaust exposure in the parents, said Yehuda. Now, let me a little more. It says the idea is controversial. A scientific convention states that genes contained in DNA are the only way to transmit biological information between generations. However, our genes are modified by the environment all the time through chemical tags that attach themselves to our DNA, switching genes on and off. Recent studies suggest that some of these tags might somehow be passed through generations, meaning our environment could have an impact on our children's health. Okay, and how it also and how the DNA is expressed. Now, what do y'all think about that? I'm about to come with it. I'm about to, say some stuff. Now they took these Jewish people and they did these studies. They used Jewish people, survivors of the Holocaust, and people that were not in the Holocaust, Jewish people, and compared them and seeing that the data showed that the DNA changed in these people who had suffered traumatic experiences. It said even people that had to hide because of the war, that was traumatic, having to hide. Hearing bombs blow up and having to hide, well, that traumatic experience was passed down to the offspring. The Holocaust lasted for 6 years. Am I correct? Somebody help me out. Slavery lasted for 400 years. In no time in this study, and because I've been looking it up, did they even mention Black people? Did they even consider, okay, well, they went through it for this amount of time, but what about what happened to Black people? What about what happened to Native Indian people? What about what the Spanish conquistadors did to Mexican people, those Mayans and the Incas? They singled out one group, but it's okay. It's good because what it does is it shows how they don't even consider us. They don't even consider our pain. They don't care. They don't think like the things that how Black people act and relate in situations and react in situations, how those things could clearly be tied to the past, the family structure of Black people. They like to talk about single parent homes and like to talk about Black men not being in the home. Well, that was the case on the plantation. I don't know if anybody knows that. It's very rare for a family to be together on a plantation. But when you talk about these genes being expressed, and let me say this, I've always said this, and I came up with this analogy based on me reading a little bit of Dr. Joyce DeGruy's book of post-traumatic slave syndrome, how trauma is passed down. And I said, there are people, there's an official research, there's an official study I just found out about this, but I just thought this up out of my head because there are people that was not alive during 9/11. They wasn't even born yet, but maybe they was born a year after, maybe 5 years after. They're alive today. They heard about the story. They wasn't there. But if you put them, they get on a plane, they board a plane, and let's just say, I'm just saying, like 6 men with turbans on their head sit down in the plane. These people will feel uneasy about that situation. 9/11 probably would flash in their heads. Like, wait, well, hold up, what's about to go on? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I know is for sure true. And these people were not alive. And so people will say, why are you talking about slavery? Well, number one, slavery was never paid for. Slavery was never repatriated. A lot of Black people are ignorant to think that what happened with the Native American Indians was repatriated because they say, oh, they got reservations. Have you seen a reservation? Why don't you go look up the Lakota Indians? Do that for me and then get back to me. But anyway, what we think is reparations is really not them giving people, and a lot of people on those lists for the Native American Indians, they're not even Native American Indian. They're full on European Viking from the Caucasus Mountains, claiming to be a Native Indian, claiming to be Cherokee. And you look at them and you can see they have no Indian in them, and they're getting benefits. So let's keep it real. Let's keep it real with that. But the point is that our pain is not looked at as like maybe our behavior is not looked at as like maybe we have traumatic experiences that are being played out in the later generations. Now, if it could be said that that's true for people that went through the Holocaust, why wouldn't it be true for people that went through the transatlantic slave trade? That's my question to the experts and the scientists and the DNA specialists. That's my question to y'all. Why the topic of discussion is not what happened to these black folks? Hey, I mean, I wish somebody could help me out, but this goes back to when they say, well, you wasn't there. I wasn't a slave master. You wasn't a slave. That don't mean anything, because the pain from my ancestors, I feel. All black people don't feel that. I can actually say with a clear mind and say that all black people don't feel that. Most black people don't even consider their ancestors and trying to put themselves in the shoes of them ancestors. Well, I'm a black man, I'm a black person that does do that. And I do feel the pain of my ancestors. And I do mourn for what my people had to go through and what they still go through. But the disrespect I also see is saying that we don't have pain. We don't go through nothing. We don't want to work. We have a victim mentality because we're talking about what happened in the past. And they say, even like I say, well, if that's the case, what about black people who are very successful, very established, that's still focused on the past? Oh, they're crazy. They're race mongers. They're trying, what they call them, race baiters. They'll call somebody that's black, that's very successful, that talks about these things, he's a race baiter. They're just trying to make controversy. And it just goes to show that they don't have a level, they don't have that level of feeling compassion for you as black folks. They can't understand that. Like, if it's them, if it's another European race, they can feel the compassion. But when it comes to black people, they're limited on their compassion. Now, I'm talking about as a group of people. I'm not talking about individuals, because we know there has been, Caucasian people that have done things for black people, fought with black people and all of that. I'm talking about as a group of people. They don't have that ability to feel compassion and have that understanding. And you even see it with this scientific study. They didn't even consider black people. And hands down, anybody would tell you, if I just walked on the streets and interviewed people, they would say, like, if I asked them, who in your opinion has went through the most in America, they would say black people. But the scientists didn't even consider us and, trauma being passed down genetically. And we probably the people that's walking around with the most trauma. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about that. Yeah. I'm going to read some of these comments. Black Dazzle. Right. It's easy to dismiss our how we feel. Like, we can't feel how we feel. Like, our feelings are like subhuman. They're not even human to those people. Like, it's not legitimate. Kyle Mosboff, you said they mock us for how we are, then turn around and sing, talk like us, and get praised for it. Yes. They say that was they say that was cool. That was cool. Let me like repackage this and market it and redistribute it. We get paid off of this. They do that. Black Rain 303, shout out to you. Black Rain, I don't know, you wasn't in here. It was a few weeks ago. I said that I don't think you was in here, Black Rain, but I said that my Thawahgabar at Gmail, my email, if you just send me your information and stuff, and I'll send you a shirt. Just look on the website, blackauthentictruth.com. Tell me what shirt you want, what size, and I'll send it to you. I just want to do that for you because you've been rocking with me, and I appreciate it. Right. Exactly. They only care when they can benefit. Man, you telling the truth, brother. They only care when they can get something out of it. They can't get nothing out of it, or they have to give something. See, us talking about our past and what we went through means that somebody has to look at us with an empathetic, sympathetic look and say, we need to right this wrong. We need to do something to help these people. You know, we became the richest country off of them, and yet they're still treated with disgust at the bottom. And the only time they love us is if we're running a football, dunking a basketball, dancing, singing, flipping. You know, they love us for the entertainment value, but when we start to really get real with them, we're a problem. We're somebody that's causing problems. We're somebody that is we need to be censored. But we can be a comedian, we can be funny, we can be silly, we can do all of those things under that title of entertainment. Well, when you start getting serious and you start really talking about some stuff, and it's like, man, shut up and dribble, please. You're a singer. You shouldn't be talking about politics. I want to watch my Sunday night football. Why do you care? You know, I wonder if that's when we do DNA. They try to say we are from other countries. Could be. You know, the funny thing about that is that I have a test, ancestry.com, right? I never did it because I had came across a video with some guys that basically said, well, he had an iguana. He took the saliva from his iguana, sent it back. It came back with results. The iguana was from Africa, had some markers in Europe. You know, it had markers in different places in the world, and it just showed that, like, man, that stuff is not even credible. And I think there's another video where a dude uses the saliva of his dog and gets results back. But from what I heard, I'm not sure. I never looked it up. I heard that the whole organization is ran by Mormons. So that might be a reason why they're just going off of what your race is, what your name is, and saying, okay, we're going to put these markers down. And it's not credible. You got a better chance of finding out who the father is on Maury than finding out what is your nationality through DNA testing. I mean, that's funny. And they can't because they hate us, right? What black? Oh, okay. Most High in Christ. I hope you get better. I hope you get better. Let me see. I'm gonna go into this last story. Then I got a Black Authentic Truth story. Y'all gotta bear with me on a Black Authentic Truth story. What I did was something different. Instead of me actually reading the story and recording it, I recorded my voice and the AI used my voice. Okay, so it's still me. It's just not me 100%. Okay. That's a good point. Data collection for biological weapons. That is a definite possibility. Yeah, I never done it. I haven't had the DNA test from Ancestry.com for 2 years now, just sitting collecting dust. Still in the plastic. Still in the plastic. Organ harvesting. We know they doing that. I just seen a special where they basically have said that um and this is all alleged, but you don't want to, it was a specialist. He was saying you don't want to put organ basically in order for them to get healthy organs, you have to be alive. So a lot of people who are in danger of that are people that have that on their license, or somewhere they said that they would be an organ donor, and they're like in hospice care. Not necessarily older people, but like middle-aged people that are maybe in hospice care, maybe in a coma, something like that. A situation like that, you know, that could be where the majority of them getting viable organs that are healthy. Is a specialist. He said organs don't come from cadavers. They don't come from people who are deceased. They come from people who are alive. So keep that in mind when you have loved ones that are in situations like that where they could just tell you anything. This is all alleged, but yeah. But anyway, the other topic that I wanted to talk about was social media. Like I want to talk about, I just want to, because I was thinking about this, y'all, and I was like, social media is like a circus, right? You come onto social media and you see some of the craziest things that you never thought you would see. You never thought you would see that. You never thought that you would see some of the sexual images you see like freely on social media, some of the grotesque images you see. Like I would just say that today I seen a video that a brother had posted. Maybe I shouldn't even clicked on it, but it was of a guy unaliving himself, putting a shotgun to his head, and you know what the rest is. And you know, in my mind, I always think like, why did somebody even post something like that? Like, why people are not, especially someone like me, why are you not more tactful with what you post? Like tactful don't really go with, but it's like what you say, but like more wise with the things that you post, like, you know. And some people just don't care. Some people say some things that are just like, why are you even saying that? Or you must be going through something right now, or why are you putting yourself out there like that? So social media has so many elements where it's crazy. It is a damn circus. But on the flip side, I could say that social media is an amazing tool if you want to learn something, if you need some information. Uh, that's the part of social media that I gravitate to, and I use it and also like this. Like when I was talking to Chester Higgins, he said that when you come into a house and the television is always on, that means there's no studying going on. Social media gives you the benefit of, okay, as you're scrolling, you can learn something, and it goes all the way back to, but what are you looking for? What do you want to be entertained with? What is your choice of what you're clicking on? You know what I mean? So it's really at your fingertips of what you allow to go into you, or what you looking at and what you watching all the time, whether it be half naked women, fight videos. A lot of fight videos get clicks. You know, the internet is filled with sisters, you know, that are half naked in fight videos. I think those will probably be the most viral type of posts, right? And then you have the grotesque posts. You have posts where people are posting crashes and all of that crap. Like all kind of stuff is permissible. It's like anything goes. So you have to be the one that be like picking and choosing what you're gonna watch. Like what are you paying attention to? You know what I'm saying? Um, but when it comes to social media, I look at it like this. It's an analogy, right? It's a classroom analogy. Like it's like classroom and life. So in school, You got good people, you got bad people, you had intelligent people, you had people that didn't try hard enough, you had class clowns, you had a mixture of all kind of people. You had the disruptive people, right? You had people that fight all the time. You had the emotionally unstable kids. You have kids that are in special, classes. No disrespect to anyone. You have kids that are in the disciplinary classes, and you have all of this separation of different type of students, different type of personalities. Some people will say slow. I mean, that might be a little mean, but the point is that all of these people will be separated. The thing on social media is that everybody is together on social media talking and interacting. And so if you could imagine a class like that, where all of these type of people will be in that class, it would be a circus. And the people that come to class to get what they need to get and pass up on this, pass up on that, they would be okay. But then you got all these other people that are just intermingling, arguing, fighting, disrespecting one another. And that is my analogy of what social media is. Now, there's another counterpart to that. Now, a lot of us, like me, grew up in either you grew up in an all black school, a black and brown school, and you might have some sprinkled white folks, or you was one of those people that grew up in an all white school and you was the only person, and you probably experienced some bullying or being treated differently or whatever. Well, when it comes to social media, there is also a racism element in social media. And I would say these people are the creators of burner accounts, like literally the account with no face, some crazy 123 kill zone. That's the name, 123 kill zone. You know what I'm saying? But you would have people like that are that say the most. Remember, in real life, you don't hear this, but on the internet, they say the most racial thing. So with that circus, now throw in that component on social media. The the white supremacists and the racists that are afraid of us, but now that they have a burner account and no one can touch them, they say what they want. Okay, so that's social media to me. You have all of these people mixed into a big circus. And so if you ever wondering why, like when I think about how crazy the internet can be, well, that analogy basically solves the issue. You have people like that classroom analogy. You have these different people, different levels of intelligence, different levels of emotionalism, different levels of understanding, and they were separated in school. But on social media, everybody is put right in the same bunch. So that is my analogy of what social media is. It is a circus, but if you're there with the understanding of what you're there for and how to navigate and move, you'll be straight. You won't be caught up in an argument. So that's why you have people that are arguing. You got people that have a very high intelligence arguing with somebody that is just a class clown. And they will go on for an hour going back and forth. The number one thing is when you're on social media, is to not get emotional. And my personal advice is don't drink and scroll. Don't drink and scroll. That's a personal pointer I want to throw in there. Don't drink and scroll, because you might find yourself liking some stuff you normally wouldn't like, right? But that's my experience in it. And also when it comes to what people say on social media, another thing that it's a saying that Mike Tyson said about the internet. And he said people are free to say things because usually they know that they won't get punched in the mouth. I know I'm chopping it up, but people are bold to say things on social media that they normally wouldn't say in real life. So keep these things in mind when you navigate in social media, and I think you'll be all right. You'll be all right. All right. So with that, y'all, I have to get I'm gonna make one for next week. I need to make a like a drum roll or a clap, applause or something for the Black Authentic Truth story. So now I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna go into. Let me remove these things. Go to the into the Black Authentic Truth story. Why can't I? Okay, we'll stop it like that. Stop sharing. Want to move that and
As a young black man, I have an obligation to my race of people, not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
And you have always hated us. We have loved you consistently for 400 years. We prayed to that white Jesus, and we saluted your flag, and we died in your militaries, and you beat us like dogs.
Jane Sarepta Dean, nicknamed Jenny or Miss Jenny, was born on April 15, 1848, into slavery in Northern Virginia. Her parents, Charles Dean, a domestic servant, and his wife, Annie, both were born enslaved and owned by the Newman family and later by the Cushing family. Her grandmother, Mildred, may have been of Native American ancestry. She had two sisters, Ella Dean and Mary Dean, who married after the American Civil War, although Jenny Dean herself never married. Jenny attended schools in Fairfax County and Washington, D.C. Dean worked as a domestic servant to help her family purchase a farm in Prince William County after her father's death and pay for one of her sister's education. She attended Sunday school at the First Congregational Church in Washington and later joined the 19th Street Baptist Church there. Jenny began missionary work dedicated to uplifting her people. She founded a Sunday school in Prince William County about 1878. She established additional Sunday schools in the area, several of which became congregations, including Calvary Chapel, later Greater Mount Calvary Christian Church. Jenny raised money locally and in northern cities for the construction of church buildings. She offered classes in cooking and sewing. She then planned for a school that would teach skilled trades to young African Americans. With the assistance of her sister, a public school teacher, and a white teacher from the county, in 1888, Dean began to organize local support for her idea among black and white residents, including ministers. Dean and her group chose the site for the school, a farm located a mile from Manassas on the Southern Railway. She looked for employment and fundraising opportunities in Washington, D.C., and later with extended trips to New York City and Boston, Massachusetts. She made the acquaintance of Oswald Garrison Villard, publisher of the New York Evening Post, who published a favorable biography of Jenny, made many donations to programs she advocated, and in 1905 became chairman of the board of Manassas Industrial School for Colored Youth. In Boston, Jenny made the acquaintance of Edward Everett Hale, who donated money but also opened social doors to Jenny. It took almost 3 years to raise funds for the land down payment. In January 1893, Dean was invited to speak at a women's suffrage convention in Washington. There, she met heiress Emily Howland of Sherwood, New York, who donated the final $1,000 to finish paying for the farm and start construction of the first hall, which was named after Howland. The Manassas Industrial School for Colored Youth received its charter in October 1893. A dedication ceremony for the school's first building, Howland Hall, took place on September 3, 1894, and featured Frederick Douglass as the keynote speaker. the school welcomed its first students in October. Reflecting Dean's vision, the school aimed to provide education and training that would lead to employment. In addition to liberal arts courses, the school offered training in occupations such as dressmaking, childcare, blacksmithing, cooking, carpentry, shoemaking, and farming. The school suffered two significant fires in 1895 and 1900 that destroyed its first buildings. On February 14, 1906, Jenny Dean and several students and faculty members visited the White House to meet President Theodore Roosevelt at the invitation of Booker T. Washington, to whom the president favorably compared Dean. Sharing Washington's belief in vocational education and hard work, she encouraged African American men and women to focus on becoming proficient in a trade, earning a living, becoming landowners, and paying taxes before they objected to the lack of opportunities or became involved with political ideologies. In 1908, however, Jenny was pushed out of the school's management after a critical report by accountants whom Villard had hired. Meanwhile, Dean's health had deteriorated after a stroke, and she became nearly confined to her home. Jenny Dean died after suffering another stroke on May 3, 1913. She was buried beside Mount Calvary Chapel, which she had helped found. After her death, school officials continued to recognize her role as founder of the school, which became a regional high school for Black students in 1938, but closed its doors in 1959 to be replaced by Jenny Dean High School the following year. A source of pride among African Americans in Northern Virginia, Dean has had a playground, a community center, and an elementary school named in her honor. The Manassas Industrial School and Jenny Dean Memorial, part of the Manassas Museum System, was dedicated in 1995 at the former school site, which had been added to the National Register of Historic Places. This is the story of Jenny Sarepta Dean.
Yeah. So what y'all think? What y'all think about the Thawahgabar's AI voice? Yeah, but with this sister, what I will say is that she definitely loved her people. She seen a need. She wanted to uplift her people. What it said in the story also is that she wanted her people to learn vocational skills and trades so that they wouldn't have to encounter, the situation of joblessness and not having opportunities. Also, not get caught up in politics like the brother earlier, Officer Tatum. She was truly a sister that was a woman of virtue. You understand? And she was never married. Wow. Her sisters were married. Also, what you seen what the brother asked in that earlier video, right, about the things that have happened to Black people when they were going back and forth, the young brother on the college. What happened in this situation is the donor, Oswald Villard, the donor who was, a writer and he was donating, she made him chairman. Well, later on, people that he appointed, this is a white man, people that he appointed pushed her out of the management of the school. So her hiring him as a chairman would later backfire on her. Fortunately, after her passing, the people running the school remembered that she was the founder and kept her name in it, But this goes back to what the brother was talking about. This is a clear example of what happens. What has happened is people get into our organization and then end up finding a way to snake and connive and get us pushed out of the organization. End up finding a way to lie and get a whole town burnt down on a lie. It has happened plenty of times in the history of our people. But it's a good story. It's a wonderful story. I didn't have time to actually put all of the images I wanted to put in to tell the story, when I post it again, I definitely will have everything, all the images. But this sister, she did that. She did a lot for her community, and she really cared about her people, which is that should be all of us. We should all be on that same type of time instead of saying, I'm a Democrat and I'm a Republican and no, I'm just for black people. What is the best thing for us? We've been doing this for over 150 years. We have to look at what's the best thing for us. Let's look at what actually worked for us in the past. There's great examples, but it's before integration. Sorry to tell you. We did some amazing things, like built the first historical black colleges. We did some amazing things that have never been done before. We did some amazing things in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s that have never been done before, never been done again in the black community. And we're now we're talking about rock the vote, vote or die. Go vote, make a difference. When we done had far more better than what we have today. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. Let me give y'all some shout outs. All right. Let me scroll up and give y'all some shout outs as I do in class too. Y'all know if y'all rock with me in class, y'all know I'll give a shout out. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I just got to get out of here, but shout out to Renee Gaines. If y'all didn't know, that's my sister. That's my blood sister, Renee Gaines. Sister Barata Nawa, that's my mom's. Black Rain 303, always rocking with me, brother. Always rocking with me. Black Dazzle and Young Man Kev, y'all always rocking with me. Y'all been rocking with me for a minute. I appreciate that. Let me see. MJ, thank you for rocking with me. Sister MJ, okay. Sis Deandra, always rocking with me all the time. Kyle Maz Boff, always rocking with me. Kyle Maz is always in there all the time, every time. And yeah, Anakwa Dum, hey, Shalom, Louisville, Kentucky, always rocking with me. You be in the classes too. I'll be seeing you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all. Hey, I don't know for what reason, y'all people with iPhones, when like Renee, when y'all put whatever you put, it just comes up as like little squares. What does that mean? What does that mean? I always wondered that. Like it's not. It's a computer. It's not a Samsung. My phone is right here, but I don't know. Like, do I have to have an iTablet? Do I have to have an Apple computer to see it? I don't know. Anyway, that's something I can look up and find out. Anyway, y'all, man, appreciate y'all. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, it's not a big deal, but yesterday I made a brisket. I'm gonna post a video, but I made a brisket yesterday. It's a learning process, but it came out. I came from a scale from 1 to 10. It came out like, okay, I'll say an 8. It came out an 8. I realized that I had undercooked it. I needed to cook it for like another 2 hours. I already had cooked it for 6 hours. I had to cook it for another 2 hours, but that's from me reading on the forums and looking at YouTube videos. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm really actually proud of myself that I did something that I didn't think I could do, which is make a brisket. And I made it in the oven. That's why too. Made it in the oven. Don't ask for none, nobody, because it's halfway gone. Wait, Oh, see, look, I'm looking in the comment. I said that before I looked at the comments. Y'all send me. Don't ask for none. Don't nobody ask for none. No, no, mom, no. It's done. It's gonna be gone tonight. Matter of fact, well, I ain't even got a watch on, but in 2 hours. Geez, I shouldn't even said nothing. I shouldn't even said nothing. But I'm low key proud of myself. Like I was like, damn, I did that. I actually did it. So yeah, maybe a few months from now I'll be an expert. I don't know. I know the next time it's gonna be right because I know what I messed up on. You know, I know the mistakes I made, but yeah, that's funny. Y'all crazy. You on the way. You know what? Let me get my shit together. That's funny. See, y'all, you know what? I'm finna end this live now. Y'all talking too damn. You know what? I'm done. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm gonna play a little music before I get up out of here. Always keep it 144,000. Always keep it, real, authentic, certified. We're gonna keep pushing this. I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I thank y'all for the support. Sometimes I'll be feeling like I can't get to it. I got so many things going on, but it's the people that rock with me that make me want to come with that fire. You understand? Make me want to come with something that's beneficial that we can learn from. Before I get out of here, I said in the beginning, you'll learn something. Did anybody learn anything today? Let me get a 1 or a 2 if anybody learned anything that maybe they didn't know. If it's just one person, I'll be cool. Let me know. You know what? I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all talking about that brisket. That was a long time ago. I'm not doing that. I'm on something else right now. Then why mention if you're not going to? I don't know. I should have kept my damn mouth closed. No, you shouldn't talk about no food around Black people. You should not talk about food around Black people. All right, I see those ones up in there. I see that, brothers and sisters learn something. This is something that you can remember and use. That thing about trauma being passed down ain't just no talk. That is a real thing. Now, I used to say that before I even knew that it was real genetic studies done on trauma being passed down. Now that I know that genetic studies have been done, and they're saying that it's true for their people, I know it's true for my people. I know my people is dealing with a lot. I know Black people is dealing with a lot. Black people dealing with so much that what's going on in the world doesn't even affect Black people. We live in a microcosm in our own neighborhood, in our own house. That's how much shit we go through and how much depression and pain and trauma we're dealing with and stress that a lot of times what's going on in the outside world doesn't even matter. You ever talk to a Black person and you tell them like some of the stories I just said, hey, you heard about that boy Lil Durk? Who? What? Nah, man, I don't know about it. It's all over the news though. But that's how it be with us. We be going through so much. We don't even know what's going on in the world, what's going on. It could be happening right outside our door and we wouldn't even know. We'll hear about it later because we're so bogged down with what's on our mind and what we're stressed out with and what we're concerned with. So this trauma thing just takes it to another level. And these people can't tell me that my people, like when I bring up what I bring up, I never feel no type of way if somebody's saying that was in the past, that you didn't go through that. Nah, nigga, I did go through that. I do feel that. I do react the way I react around a police, or I react in a tight situation. I react the way I react because that's how my ancestors would have reacted, and that's what they had. That's how they had to react. Speaking of that, you ever just look at social media, and y'all know that this is true. When we talk about black people, right? When we talk about black people, I was supposed to be gone a long time ago. This is the last little nugget, right? When we talk about black people, when you think about black folks, when there is something that's bad, like let's just say like this P. Diddy situation, or any situation that it's supposed to be a serious situation. It's supposed to be serious. But you see black people on social media making memes, laughing, and making jokes out of it. It's all fun and games with our people, even in the worst situations. You want to know why? It's like that because remember, when our people were enslaved, you had to see a loved one get whipped to death. You had to see somebody be lynched to death. And eventually you had no choice but to keep going and smile. Smile now, cry later. So we had to laugh through the trauma. We had to laugh through the trauma, y'all. We had to make light, even though hardship was going on. We had to make, in light of this, I still figure out a way to smile. I still figure out a way to make jokes and crack jokes. That's our people. So today, that's why that happens. That's why black people can laugh during anything, and you will say, like, something is wrong with that. This needs to be studied. Something is wrong with that. Y'all remember that's my new phrase. This needs to be studied. Something is wrong with you making a joke out of a serious situation. You making a meme, you posting something, and hundreds of thousands of people is on there laughing with the laughing emojis. That's because we had to laugh through the pain in the past. It's not okay. It's not normal, but I understand. With that, y'all, I'm up out of here. Let me see. Yeah, okay, y'all stop talking about brisket. I see, because I finna shut this down. We have become numb to a lot of shit, and even knowing what's on the outside of our own, for real. It says, and would it be safe to say that explains reincarnation? Because when I watch slave movies, I cry like I was there. You know, it's heavy that you say that. And I can go on and on. I recently did a class. Every time I do a class where I have to read a slave narrative, I have to wear glasses because it will make you cry. A lot of times I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I feel so strongly about it. You know, the story I just read about old man Ashby killing the slave because he caught the slave one night praying, and he overheard the prayer that the Lord would allow for the master to give him his freedom, and he killed the man. And on his deathbed, he confessed to killing him. Do you think hate and racism can be genetically passed down to, like, trauma? I think that it can. I think we are who we are, you know, and I can go into it biblically, but we are who we are. And so people would say that you can't just pin something on the whole race as far as racism. But I would say that you can. The reason why I think people say that you can't just pin something on everybody, on the whole race, is because individually, like say for instance, with racism in America, with black people, you do have white people that walked in the civil rights movement, that died in the civil rights movement, fighting with blacks, fighting for black people. You have white people that have, you know, done philanthropy, that have given money to black causes, that stand with black people. But these are like it's a flip to what I was talking about earlier with the brother talking about Black people can succeed. You have everything in your hands to succeed. Well, yeah, there's a lot of us that are going to succeed, but that's not the majority of us. The same with racism. It's a lot of white folks that are down with Black people, but the majority of them are not. They just are not. And you know, yeah, I don't know if I even answered that question because I just be going on. But anyway, another point I wanted to make, and I'm going on, y'all. I used to act in school when Roots came out. So like, okay. Roots is another one of those that just you get the visuals, and you know it hurts, but they tell us not to remember our past. And when I was growing up, they would say, remember the past so you don't repeat the future. Now it's like, nah, that was the past. You get what I'm saying? Like it used to be, remember the past so you don't repeat the things of the past. So remember the past so in the future you don't repeat them. That was the saying when I was growing up. Now you don't hear that no more. People was like, nah, it's critical race theory, nigga. We don't want to hear nothing about what y'all people went through. You know, this is a new day. You wasn't a slave, I wasn't a slave master. And come on now. Like you're race baiting. You have a victim mentality. Why are you talking about this? I promise you, Officer Tatum, that brother, or anybody that says that to you, they would not say that to Jewish people. If Jewish people was to say, you know, and it was hard, and I still remember what the stories my grandmother told me, and you know, of the Holocaust and all that, they would not say that. You have a victim mentality. You're playing the victim. Officer Tatum would close his damn mouth. He don't want to end up like Kanye West. He would not dare say that to Jewish people talking about what happened to them in the past, but he'll say it to his own people. He'll say it to people that are look just like him that he descend from. That needs to be studied. Crazy work. That's crazy work. But when it comes to the slave stories, it's like this. It's like I put myself in that world. Before I used to just say I couldn't be no slave because I'd be dead. And I did this, do that. But now I just put myself in that experience. And I'll tell y'all one more. I'll tell y'all another a slave narrative. This is about a sister that this sister, I don't know what she did. I think she dropped some eggs. She was carrying some eggs and she dropped the eggs. And the mistress, there's a book called They Were Her Property. I have a lot of books with slave narratives, but I don't think this one is in They Were Her Property. But They Were Her Property is focusing on the slave master women and how cruel they were to their slaves. So that's just another perspective. But this sister dropped the carton of eggs, cracked a few eggs. The mistress had her tied to a tree, pulled her shirt down, and she whipped her, and she whipped her hard. She whipped her. The sister said that she would shout, she would scream, and she would shout when she would get hit with the whip. Because you know it's a whip cowhide, and when it hits you, it pulls some of your flesh. And she got to the point to where, you know, she was just through. And she said to the mistress, she said, "Mistress, if I was you and you were me, I wouldn't beat you this way." And she said from that point on, it cut the mistress. It cut her to her soul. And from that point, the mistress didn't beat her no more. what it takes for people to understand what Black people go through is for them to put themselves in our shoes. And maybe you won't hear the things that people say about us and the perspectives that they have about us because they'll understand what it's really like to be us. With that, I'm going to end this live. I you know what I'm saying? I talk to y'all. I see y'all. I will be in, I'm gonna go to Texas this weekend. So maybe I'll do a Black Authentic Truth live Wednesday. I don't think I'll be able to do one this up and coming Sunday. I'll be able to do one Wednesday, probably about a little earlier on Wednesday. And, you know, if so, y'all would definitely know if you got that. If you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, you'll definitely know when I go live. All right. So with that, right, we're gonna end with some music, okay? With that, y'all keep it Black and authentic. I hope that y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Get ready to go to work tomorrow. Whatever you got to do tomorrow, Monday morning. Stay safe. Peace, y'all.